Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of RE Geeks. Guys, we are talking about all things tech 2025 and everything beyond and what came behind us. We got an incredible conversation today. Michael brought up some great points that we're going to talk about this morning on this recording and this live show, by the way. So tune in, like, follow, and subscribe immediately so you guys never miss out on anything that we do. We're going to talk about Keller Williams and CoreLogic. What's going on there? That seems something a little nefarious, maybe in a possible good way. We're also going to talk about Rocket Mortgage. Is Compass buying Berkshire Hathaway? Could that actually be happening? And then stay tuned. We're going to do some AI tech tips in the backside. So, Michael Fielden, my co-host, my wonderful, incredible tech genius. How are you, brother?
Good, Greg. Thanks for the introduction. It's always excited. I actually am looking forward now to Tuesdays, getting to spend this time online. I think we've had some great comments coming in via email from some of the guests, and it's like, dude, people are watching.
Yeah, they're watching, they're learning, they're accepting the information, they're putting it in their business. I mean, folks, Michael, you've been receiving emails from wonderful individuals, multiple of them, by the way,
Yeah.
that are saying, like, hey, man, I took that one tip and I put it into my business, and bingo, bango, boongo, I'm making money. It's
Yeah.
awesome sauce.
Well, it's real estate. They're getting closer to making money. How about that?
Closer.
Still got to close escrow. Hey, so Greg, we talked a little bit last week about Rocket Mortgage and their purchase of Redfin. I don't want to dwell on that too much. We're still waiting to see if they get approval, which I'm assuming at this point they will, but I'm excited that something's going through there. And then, before that announcement came the announcement of CoreLogic, which, if you don't know CoreLogic, they're a data company focused on real estate. They do everything from postcards to data analysis, predictive analysis. They cover a little bit of every data component that you could possibly need for real estate. They are making a significant investment in Keller Williams, and this acquisition is not a complete acquisition. Keller is still going to remain as a part of the organization. But I think what you're going to see is a company that gets even more access to data and is able to contribute more to what Keller Williams is doing with their internal products. I personally, I'm really excited about this. Greg, I don't think this is going to be too impactful for their agents, but there's probably 165,000 of them roughly wondering what this really means for them. Do you have any feel for what this holds for the agents?
Well, I've used CoreLogic for a long period of time, and I'll tell you one thing: when you have an integrated system into a back end, side. So, let's say you're doing cold calls, door knocks, you're doing, working through your CRM stuff like that, and you have the ability to just click a button, and then everything is automated on the backside, so you can go back out and go do lunches and coffees and cocktails and dinners and lunches, networking, parties, whatever, building your book of business in your local area, and you meet Michael Fielden or Greg McDaniel or Bob Smith or John Jones or whoever, and you get their contact information and you throw them into that system. So yeah, you're going to spend a couple of dollars. You're going to send out postcards. You're going to send out, other pieces of information, digital and non-digital. I think it's very, very beneficial. I work with another company that just partnered with another company that does the back end stuff. I got to tell you, it's a little clunky right now, but it's the fact that I can go click, 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 boom, done, out the door. Now I'm moving forward in my prospecting, and my follow up is already taken care of for
Right.
me. And that's the biggest thing. Because, Michael, you and I are both real estate agents. We both struggle with the follow up, like every single real estate agent. We always say, gold is in the follow up. Well, yeah, if you do it. But if this actually goes together, I think KW is going to have a really good stand. I think there's a good pull there.
Yeah, I definitely think they will. Greg, I'm going to go back in time here and see if I can find
Do not send any of the old photos when I was younger, because
just
I went back and saw some of those. I have some big old Dumbo airs. No, thank you.
nope, that's not what I'm going to share.
Thank God.
But I do want to go through. God, is this where we had the stats? Let's see.
So as you're looking through that,
Talking. Yep.
I mean, obviously you're a heavy tech guy, and by the way, Michael's going to help me out with Support Geeks, RE Geeks. Well, Support Geeks is his company, but I'm actually getting a new computer today. I'm actually kind of intimidated by the damn thing. I've never had a Apple laptop, and I'm getting a new one. And he and his team are going to help me take all of my content that I have on my desktop and put it onto my laptop, so it's a working second model. So if you guys are looking or need anything like that, get a hold of Michael. SupportGeeks.com, guys. It's amazing sauce. So Michael, what are we at? What are we sharing?
Okay, give me just one more second. Let's start talking a little bit about Berkshire Hathaway and
Great
Compass.
company.
Do you think it's a possibility? Could they do it?
That's what I asked you in the pre-show.
Then I got a
don't
shake
know.
up for you.
Huh?
Then I got a shake up for you. I got another thought. So what's your thought? Could they do it?
So let's just think about that for half a second. I mean, could Compass buy Berkshire Hathaway? I mean, it comes down to if the price is right, right? If it's going to be an affordable, profitable, purchase on and sale on both sides. I agree. Gino Buffari, who you and I both used to work for, is the head of Berkshire Hathaway, who's actually still a friend of mine. And whenever I see him, he's like, "Greg, how's your dad?" And I'm like, dude, doing well. He's like, "Give him my love." I'm like, "No problem, Gino." So if he's willing to separate on that, if I don't know. I mean, that could be a very interesting purchase. That could be
It could be, but let
purchase.
me throw a little bit into the fray here. Sorry, my daughter's trying to get a hold of me. She'll eventually
stop calling
me. And I have her set up. I normally try to turn on mute, but I have her set up so that she can always get through. And
she's doing
it. So I'm going to throw a wrinkle in it.
Okay.
Rumors come from somewhere, right? We all know that most rumors have some truth to them.
True.
What is the possibility? So take that the way you like it. What's the possibility that Berkshire Hathaway is buying Compass?
Ooh. I actually could see that more feasible based upon finances and because Compass stated to the fact that they were not going to expand anymore. Yep. So if Berkshire never said that, I mean, they buy everything. But if Berkshire buys Compass, that would be an acquisition that I could understand. The reverse of Compass acquiring Berkshire, I mean, God bless them if they can do it, but I just don't see it. I see the Berkshire buying Compass, actually.
I just don't know where Compass would really get the money. It would mean, they're going to have to sell more stock, which, or get more investment or whatever it is they're doing now. And I just don't see that happening. I see the other as a viable option. I think time's going to tell. But I wanted to go back a second, Greg, and if you could put the presentation. Nope, the other one.
The other one. He did that one. Yeah, let's do that one. Oh my God, AIM.
Okay, guys.
Do you guys know what this is? Michael and I built I built the content for this program, this training program in a 45-minute flight from LA to San Francisco after an event. And then I took it to Michael, and Michael took it and made it look super pretty in our last brokerage. And so, Michael, break us down. What do you want to talk about with
So
AIM?
what I want to talk about, this is 2013, right? So we've got 12 years ago now.
It's
We
really
built
been that
this out.
long.
And I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we were doing back then. And I'm going to get to an important point here because you talked about the gold, right? So we were talking
Mhm.
about pearls of wisdom, and this doesn't format really well on the presentation here, but we had homework with this. This is the slide that I really wanted to share right now because you were just talking about this, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think we can stress enough, guys. 48% of agents never follow up. Okay. And I want you to ask yourself, are you one of those agents? Do
Yeah.
you follow up with people?
No, so Michael, I'm gonna fall on my own sword. You know what? I went on 2 appointments last week. Both of them were challenging, let's put it that way. Did I follow up with the people? No, I did not. Here's the reason why. I didn't see value in the follow-up. Now, let's talk about value and follow-up and personal thought patterns, because the reason why 48% of people, agents, never follow up with somebody because they don't see an opportunity there. I looked at both of these prospects and I didn't see an opportunity. Now, is that correct? No. Should I have followed up? Yes. Will I? Yes. Now, because you're calling me out on an open mic? Yes, I
I'm calling you out.
absolutely will.
Greg, and when we dove into this in 2013, I don't think the numbers have changed very much. And I
No.
think the next slide is equally telling, right? And let's go through this. 25% of salespeople make only a second effort. Now, Greg, if I had handed out more than one business card when you told me to deliver my business cards to the neighborhood, would I have had a better success rate?
Yes.
Okay. 12% make 3 attempts. Gets better and better. 10% of salespeople make more than 3 attempts. And Greg, let me translate this out, and then I'll let you expand on it.
Sure.
Most agents make less than $50,000 a year selling real estate nationwide.
That hurts
Most
my heart.
agents. Okay. We all are in an office where you see 1 or 2 agents that year after year are killing it.
Well, they're
And
killing it in business, but they're also killing it in their relationships, interpersonal and personal. A lot of the folks, when my dad was the number one agent here for decades, dude, I didn't see that guy. He would be gone by 6 a.m., didn't come back until 10 p.m. We'd go on vacations and he would be in the car when we had car phones, not cell phones, car phones, up at our cabin, up at the top of a hill where we can get reception with all of his files, making calls and negotiating deals. Yeah, you can kill it. But here's the thing, the follow up doesn't have to be traditional anymore. The follow up could be okay. So here's an example. One of my dogs who's sleeping under my desk right now, Rupert, it was his birthday yesterday. I don't know how old he turned, but he had a birthday. And we determined it was his birthday because we don't know he's a shelter dog. Anyways, I posted a photo of him with his it's my birthday, a little scarf with a little hat, which by the way, I had to make him sit for like 10 photos before I got one. But then I posted it. But I got almost 800 views and comments on that one thing. Now, why is that relevant to this conversation? Here's why. Every single person that reaches out and follows you on your posts, Gary Vee has said this for years and years and years. Go back and comment to every single freaking person. That will take you from the 10%, from the 25% that want to do like 2 contacts to the 10% that make a third attempts or more to follow up with folks. So let's say you do a market update, or you do a neighborhood park, or you do something along those lines. But you get into the algorithm with these individuals and you become relevant to these individuals. And now, guess what? You're actually having conversations. And that is where it starts. Postcards can't do that. Door knocks can do it. Phone calls are generally getting shut down, and cold calls and stuff like that. But get out there and just have the conversations. Think outside the box. Be different than your competitors. So let's say, Michael, give me one hobby that you have that nobody knows about, which I know a lot of your hobbies, but give me just anything that somebody might not know about you.
Photography.
I knew you were going to say photography.
Yeah, it's easy.
So,
It's safe.
Michael, tell me what lens you're shooting on with right now on what camera to shoot. Let's say your kiddos at a sports game or open house or something like that. Anything.
So my day-to-day carry is a Canon 1DX with a usually either the 2470 or the 7200
Okay, so
lenses.
let's stop right there really quickly. What you just gave us was very interesting content because now we know the body of the camera, we know the different lenses, and we know
Yep.
we know what to shoot with, right? Those are talking points that you can go out to and do videos, have conversations with people, get involved with different photography groups on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere else. Now you are creating a community around your interests and your passions. That is more powerful than a postcard. Michael, would you agree with me on that?
Yes. But I also want to point out one important thing that you're doing, Greg, that everyone should remember when you're having a conversation and you're trying to build engagement.
Tell me.
Greg started this conversation out with a question. And there is nothing more engaging than asking somebody a question. If Greg had started out by saying, there's a lot of photography groups out there that you should probably da 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 da, and you could do this, boom. There's no place for engagement. There's no place, I could continue his thought, I could repeat it, but by asking a question, he can deliver his message.
And that's the most important thing. Always be inquisitive. Never be in the state of I know everything. Always be like Michael or John or Sue
Yep.
or Phil or Rebecca. Fill me in more. Help me understand that. What is important about that? Walk me through that. Where can I purchase this? Do you have a link? Just you'll get excited about it. I mean, like I said, I have a new laptop coming. I just got this delivered to me, which I haven't quite figured out how to do this drone thing yet. But I want to pick Michael's brain behind the scenes about this. And be like, Michael, how do I fly this damn thing? My dad got a drone and he crashed it into a tree, and so he went and bought himself a new drone. Hasn't flown it yet. But the thing is that being curious will always beat trying to be like alpha dog in any situation, because you're like, so Michael's an expert in photography, and this is just an example. I have a DSLR camera that I bought with all the gadgets and gimbals and all this other stuff. I don't know how to shoot the damn thing. It's in a freaking backpack in my closet. Michael carries a camera around with him all the time. He could tell me in 10 seconds how to shoot this thing better, but I haven't asked him. Why? A lot of it's ego, ladies and gentlemen. In 2025, we have to be forward thinking in regards to being curious about the other individual, not being self-centered about us. So let's go back to the slide you have up right now, the Ford technique. Walk me through this.
This looked a lot better in our presentation. Stuff isn't translating across, but I think that this is an important slide that is still relevant today as much as it was whenever it came out, which was probably the dark ages. But these are the things that you can remember if you're ever thinking, okay, what do I have to talk about? I'm walking around the block, I bump into my neighbor. These are your things. Just remember the Ford technique: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. These are your conversations points. How are you doing? How's your family doing? How's your spouse? How are your kids? Notice every one of those is a question. It's an opening. Occupation. How's your job? Looking forward to retirement? How long have you been at company X now? Okay, all of these things are important. Recreation. What have you been doing? It's winter. Are you going skiing? You and your family going to take the sailboat out? What are you doing? What are your dreams? What do you have planned for the future? Any vacations for the summer? Okay, they can be near, they can be far. These are simply talking points to get you started. And Greg, you introduced me to this, and it's like I struggle a little because sometimes I don't want to hear about somebody's dog or that they've been sick. I've heard it from my wife, but you got to have these conversations and you got to have these points and you've got to put a smile on and you've got to be engaged. People will know immediately if you are being disingenuous, right?
So here's a twist on that really quickly. We can take the dreams and trade it in for goals. So it's either can be Ford or Frog. It's going to be up to you on that one, and it doesn't have to go in any sequential process. It can be in any direction you want. It could be like, oh my god, dude, you're at the dog park, so what else do you guys do? Do you guys go boating? Do you like to cook? I mean, you guys like to go walking, hiking, running? No, tell me some more stuff about what you guys do. Oh, we do this. Sounds like you guys are active a lot. What occupation are you in? Are you in sales? Are you in what do you do? Bingo bango. Wow, how long have you been doing it? Would you do it again? Would you recommend it? Do you have any references? I mean, what's your perfect client look like that maybe I can refer to you? Something along those lines. And then, go back to family, like Michael was saying, and go back. You know what? I have 7 nieces and nephews, and they're all playing sports, all doing, gymnastics all over the place, blah, 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 yakety schmack. You know, is there anything that you'd recommend, for a good family, option to go do with the kiddos? Get them talking. Here's the reason why. Eventually, and this is why Forward is so empowering to your conversations, is this. At some point, when you're having a conversation with somebody and you're asking about them, they're going to turn it back and they're going to ask about you. And that's where the power starts, because they're like, so what do you do for a living? And I always joke around and I say, well, Michael, what I do for a living is I stress people out and I put them in debt. And people are like, what? I'm like, I sell real estate, man. And they giggle, we laugh. And then the next question is, so how's the market? And most agents will respond with, oh, it's fantastic. It's a wonderful market. That's a bullshit answer. Sorry for the cussing. It's a bullshit answer. Again, sorry for the cussing. The response is, well, it depends. Are you looking to buy, sell, rent, or invest? And then you throw it back onto them, and now the conversation continues. If they're just interested, go just know your stats. Look at your MLS. Look at whatever site you want to look at. Understand, go RPR. Just know what's going on, and then just spout off some numbers. Don't be a salesperson, and just enjoy the conversation. Then turn it back to them, and be like, Michael, I got to ask you, man. Sounds like you and your family have been here for a while. You got a bunch of beautiful daughters, a beautiful wife, great area. Do you guys plan on staying here forever, or what's your dream? Do you want to get out of town or stay in town? Then you start building a bot. Well, no, I want to go to Mammoth. I want to go to Tahoe. I want to go to Marin. I want to go to Idaho. Fantastic. When do you want to be there? How can I assist you? Who can I connect you with? Because you're not selling at this point. What you're doing is you're giving an opportunity for someone to get value from you and your connections. Your connections are more powerful than any amount of money you have in your bank account. And Ford, the technique, the Ford script, this, if you're single, if you're married, if you're looking to get engaged, whatever, this one will walk you through any conversation and make it simple and easy, because it's going to be about them, not about you, and that makes them feel more important. So, Michael, I really appreciate you bringing this up.
Yeah, this is a walk down memory lane, to be sure. Greg, I think you're spot on for what you're saying. The only thing I would add to that is sometimes it's important to accelerate this conversation. And one of the ways that I've seen agents successfully do this is encompass in that recreation or family section questions about, hey, I saw you were painting. I saw you got a new fence. I saw you did your landscaping. And then lead that into a question. What made you decide to get a new fence? How do you like it? Was the color of paint what you thought? And you can turn it into a story. Wife and I were talking about painting the living room, and we just can't agree on a color. How'd you guys pick a color?
Yeah, that's Michael, that's a phenomenal, twist on that, because again, you're being curious about the other individual. And that's why in 2025, that's the whole point of this show, is the fact that the industry is shifting a lot. Everything was trying to go digital and so on and so forth. But you have to get back to body, belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball, and be curious. Like, what kind of wood did you guys build with that fence? What kind of what paint color did you guys choose? How did you guys choose those pavers? Where did you guys get them? Those are very interesting questions that people will want to answer because they're proud of their property and they want to share. They really want to share.
Well, and sometimes, Greg, it leads to the question of, are you planning on staying to appreciate that, or you want to, are you prepping your house to move?
Yeah. Okay. So funny side comment here.
Uh-oh.
No. It's on point. I was at, well, naturally, I'm at the dog park, right? And I'm just BSing with an individual there, and I'm literally working down Ford, family, occupation, recreation, goals and dreams, so on and so forth. And they're like, "What do you do for a living?" And I'm like, "Sell real estate. Been doing it for 25 years, quarter century, actually over a quarter century now." And yeah, that's what I do. And they're like, "Interesting. We've been thinking about selling our home." And we were literally talking about dog poop. And I'm like, man, that's a shift. Didn't see that one coming. But you're right. Ask the questions, have some fun, enjoy the conversation. Don't be dead set on getting a lead. Just be interested in the person you're talking to, if you even actually want to work with that person. Because Michael, you and I have talked about this multiple times. Through the Ford conversation, if people are into weird things, I have meows desire to work with them. So I try to fire them. But if not, they'll try to hire me, not me try to hire them. And that's a mindset shift that might be something people could think about a little bit.
Yeah. No, 100%. So, all right, we ready to move on to AI?
Let's go, baby.
Because now it's exciting. And I have no idea how long we're even trying to make this presentation, but I was playing around with AI the other day, and you'll notice I've switched over. I'm using Gemini for this discussion, but one of the things that came up is I've got free time in the evenings, and I was asking myself, and we'll go to the top example first, how could I use AI to provide me additional training? And one of the things that I did was I came up with the concept for a prompt: break residential real estate sales down into 5 core principles. Okay, good start. Use real world metaphors for each of these 5 core principles. Create mini challenges to assess understanding, and create a 7-day mastery path with a quick win milestone. Include a clarity score after each mini test.
What's a clarity score? Just for the dum-dum in the room here.
Do you understand this? Is it
Okay.
clear? Is what you're putting out there clear? And I did this because I'm trying to get everyone at Support Geeks, everyone at my company, I want to have a real estate license. And I want them to be trained and educated about the process because I want them to understand what our clients are going through. Okay. This is a very lightweight, easy prompt. Okay. And it comes back. Here are the 5 core challenges. Or excuse me, 5 core principles. Understanding needs. Okay. This should be a given, guys. If you don't understand what your client is doing and what they need to do and what they want to do, it's going to be very hard for you. So here's your metaphor, like a gardener. Okay. Then it gives you a mini challenge. The client says they want a family home. What are 3 specific follow-up questions you'd ask to understand their needs? Do not always assume that your client is using words that mean the same thing to them as they do to you.
Oh, that's good. That's
Okay.
good. That's good.
Because family home might mean that I've got 2 70-pound dogs and they're my family and I need a big fenced in yard,
Mm-hmm.
which is different than I need, at least an open space, place for the kids to hang out, TV room, and extra bedrooms, right?
So what you're saying is be specific.
Be very specific. Ask questions to get to the details. And then your clarity score, okay, is what you're asking clear. Okay. Or
So
is it muddy?
let's talk about clear. I mean, clear. I mean, I go boating in the Delta, and that water, when you look at it, it's muddy and murky, right? You pick it up and you put it in your hand, it's clear. So, are we talking broad scale or micro scale?
I think you're talking a little bit of both. And here's what I would tell you. Client comes up to you and says, I need a 5-bedroom, 3-bath home
Okay.
for my family.
Okay. Describe your family.
Okay, there's the question. That's asking for clarity because maybe it's just me and my wife and our parents come to visit a lot and we both want an office.
But the parents are elderly, so I don't want a 2-story. I need a single story.
Exactly. So now you can see a 5-bedroom, 3-bath is not so clear.
It's that's pretty muddy. That's Delta water. That's muddy water.
Delta water. Okay, so your next principle is market expertise. Guys, if you don't know your market, you're killing yourself. If you're not using RPR, Residential Property Resource, or your MLS news data and keeping current with what's out there, you're doing yourself a disservice and you're going to get questions. And the minute you have to say, I don't know,
Problem.
is a problem. Now, you're not going to know everything, right? Sometimes it's some weird question, but if it's something pretty basic, and here's the one that kills me. You go to do an open house on a Saturday and you print out on Thursday everything that is competitive in the market. You go up there, and if you've been doing this long enough, you're going to put your flyer out on Saturday morning at the open house, and somebody's going to walk in and say, well, I don't see 123 Happy Lane just down the block on your paper here.
Right.
Because it went on the market on Friday and you don't know anything about it.
But so let me. I'm right in line with you on this. I'm going to bring us back here so everybody can see us. Have a second. I use homes.com. They purchased another one of my favorite websites. They have a photography app on the top right-hand side. And you can go take a photo of any property. Don't drive by it, but you can take a photo of it when you're in front of it. The Latin long will give you the information about it. So if they're like, well, 123 Happy Lane, you just pull up homes.com, which I use all the time, or RPR, and I just pull it up and I'm like, oh, you know what? Shoot. Look at them. They came on, after I printed all my stuff up. That's a great point. Thanks for bringing it up. But just tech tip really quickly. I know I'm overstepping my bounds. You're on a rant, and I want to keep you going on that rant because it's a great rant.
I think you're spot on. What I'm going to remind you, Greg, is not everybody is as fluid with smartphones. You go to my parents' market, 10,000 homes. My parents still have a flip phone.
Are you serious?
Absolutely serious. And so do a lot of the agents in their market because they don't have good data service in the sticks, so it doesn't matter. And they don't have. So this comes down to you've got to know your market, you've got to educate yourself, and you've got to be prepared. Okay. And I do have an anecdote I have to give you as I am planning that there will be a retirement at some point in the future. And I called an agent in a beach community just south of us yesterday. And I was like, wow, the price is good, but what exactly does the $800 HOA include? $850 a month. And she says, well, it's not $850 a month. It's $2,550 a quarter.
What?
So she combined them and she said, you pay every quarter.
Huh. Okay.
Still $850 a month. And
Dude.
I was like, well, what does it get? And she says, well, we give you access and you get the beach.
Is there a security gate, maintaining of the exterior?
I just said, okay, thank you. I'll figure it out myself. I just thought that was great. All right.
That's
so
funny.
Again, we're going through core principles of residential real estate that AI has generated. I didn't feed it what these principles were. Principle number 3, effective communication. Okay. Forward, you've got to be skilled in creating these conversations. Okay. You should be role playing. All right. I'm working on creating agents right now that are building role play in AI. And because there is a variable, the AI that we're using is actually 2 platforms. We're looking at bringing 2 different AIs together to build the role play. So there will actually be both sides played out for you. Really cool way to get some valuable role playing. Mini challenge here is a great one. Role play a scenario where a buyer is hesitant about a property due to a minor flaw. Okay. This happens all the time.
Yes, it does.
Okay? Figure out how you're going to, address their concerns. How are you going to address traffic? How are you going to address the high power lines, that run down the middle of their backyard? Okay. How are you going to address the neighbor that's got, 10 years of junk piled in their front yard? Those are the things that you want to battle all the time. Okay. Number 4. And if you don't get this one, this is going to be a hard business for you. You need to master negotiation. You need to know how to negotiate backwards and forwards. Okay.
It's
you need to have strategies on how to do that.
So the funny thing about that, I'm going to bring us back here. When it comes to relationship building, I agree with you 100,000%. Now, what does relationship building mean? Are we trying to go on a date? Are we trying to meet our neighbor? Are we trying to, build a book of business? What does that relationship look like? And one of the funny things is back in the Dizzle day, sorry, I cussed. Back in the day, my dad and I was just starting the business. And we were driving down Danville Boulevard, which is a main drag here in my neck of the woods. And we're passing past this elementary school that I went to called Rancho Romero. My dad was on the phone. He had his yellow book. He had his yellow pages out, not like the yellow pages like they get produced. Like he actually had a notebook that was yellow, and he was just calling people, and he would just call them up and say, "Hey, Michael, it's Terry. How are you, brother? Hey, man, I just drove past your house. I was thinking about you. Just wanted to call and say hi and see if we can grab a cup of coffee." And he'd hang up the phone. I'm like, "Dad, we're nowhere near that dude's house." He's like, "They don't know that."
Yeah. And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because when you get thought about, you feel special. And like Michael, something that I'm doing when it comes to relationship building right now. Number one, I respond to every single person that watches one of my reels or shorts or whatever else. Just, hey, how are you? And by the way, that takes a lot of freaking work. But it's like door knocking, but digital. You can do it on your couch with a charger and your Netflix plan. Um, but then when I'm in open houses, I my feet were hurting me one day because I was wearing these old shoes that I should not have been wearing. But anyways, long story. I just said, "Come sit with me," and I brought every person into the house and said, "Come sit with me. Let's talk." Every person responded and sat down, and we had a phenomenal conversation. I met some of the most incredible people just by saying, "You know what, Michael, come sit with me real quick. My back's hurting me, my feet hurt, my knees hurt, whatever else. Sit down." Everybody's got a little bit of pain somewhere. And just by saying, "Come sit with me," that brings you into a connection,
Yeah.
brings you into the opportunity to build a relationship, because no longer a standoff of agent versus prospective buyer or seller. Now we're becoming friends, or at least, people that will acknowledge each other in public. Like, "Hey, Michael, hey, Greg, good to see you, brother. How's the knee?" "Oh, man, it's getting better every day." "All right, cool, man. Hey, let's get together and do some coffee." "All right, cool." Relationship
Yeah.
forming. It's very, very powerful, but very, very simple. Michael, let me ask you this. Why do you think people do not want to build in-depth relationships in 2025?
I think they do.
Okay,
They
walk me through
just
that.
don't necessarily know how. And I think everyone looks at, you've got to time slice your day, right? So it takes work to maintain those relationships,
Yes, it does.
and you can't do it quickly, right? It's not like I can quickly form a relationship with somebody just because I want to. I've got to work at it. I've got to get it to know them. I've got to be open. I've got to remove my mask and
Mask.
build a mask, a pretend, "Hey, how you doing?" "I'm doing great."
Oh, take the BS off of the
Take the BS
conversation.
off it. You've got to have those conversations to build meaningful relationships.
So let's role play that really quickly,
Yep.
because I'm very interested. I want you to take your mask off, hypothetically.
Mhm.
Um, I walk into an open house. Hi, is this the open house for 456 Maple?
Yes. Welcome. How are you today?
Yeah, it could be better. It could be worse. Living life.
Yeah. Well, feel free to take a look around. I am here if you have questions, and I'll check on you in about 2 minutes. And I let them start roaming around, because you've got to build the questions, right? You can't ask them, "How do you like this house?" when they're 4 feet in the door.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
I could transfer that and I could say, "Yeah, what brought you by today?" I could start that conversation early, but I am one to avoid the immediate pressure and obvious questions. Well, the house brought them by, right? They want to see what's here. And then what I would do after 2 minutes is, how do you like what you're seeing? I would try to get an answer to, are you a neighbor? Are you looking to move? What really brought you in? And that's about, cultivating what you have with that person, what your common ground is up to here.
Right. So that is one phenomenal take on that. Do you mind if I give you my take on that?
Of course.
So very similar to Michael, at an open house or on a conversation, doesn't matter. Especially, we'll do the open house scenario, because we're on that topic.
Just because I like it. Is this the open house?
Yeah, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Oh,
Good.
fantastic, brother. Hey, here's a flyer on the property. Quick facts: is a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,700 square feet on about a third of an acre. You know what? Take a look around. Give me your thoughts. You know what? I'll be in the kitchen. And by the way, I have some coffee and some cookies. So if you guys are hungry or thirsty, come on out. Come on over. Then what I do strategically is I block them with my body because I'm 6'5", 200 and change pound human. I block a certain way, so I force them in another direction, not like physically force them. I just, mentally negotiate them to go another direction. Then what I do is I toddle into that other side because I know how the house is operating. So let's say I'm going to push them to the living room, which leads into the kitchen, which goes into the family room, and then I'll just casually stroll in. So, how'd you guys find us today? Was online or offline? Was signs or which website? Oh, it was blah 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 website. Ah, it gets us every time. All right, well, take a look. And by the way, I need to get your opinion about the master bathroom before you guys leave. All right. And they scan her away. Then when they come back, I'm like, okay, give me your opinion about the master bathroom. What do you think? Well, smush, and they give you the answer. They give you a master bathroom. It could be the kitchen, it could be the backyard, it could be the living room, it could be anything. The fireplace, you pick it. But it gets the relationship being built. Now we're talking turkey, because at the end of it, I say, hey, all right, so are you guys looking to buy, sell, rent, invest? What's your thought pattern today? And you have to keep it at what you call a tone neutral. So you can get really animated and talk like this. You can be really down and talk like this. Or you stay tone neutral, like I'm talking to you right now. Hey, well, that's interesting. What's important about that? What did you like about that? And be willing to fire them as a client before you even hire them, because they might not be the right person for you. But that's where the relationship is. It's like, and I always go back to dating, ideas. The individual that you're either dating, engaged, or married to, at some point, you guys didn't have a relationship, but you had to build a relationship. It's the same things with buyers and sellers. Understand if you're a good match and good fit, if you enjoy the same things. I mean, if one dude's like a NASCAR driver and you drive a Fiat, might not be the best person to have a conversation with.
Yeah.
I mean, I took a $5 million listing with a guy on 10 acres. And the reason I showed up in jeans, tennis shoes, a baseball hat, and a sweatshirt. He and I walked around. He showed me his car barn. He literally had a car barn full of race cars and collectible vehicles. He and I just chopped it up, engines and race cars and timing and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, so when do you want to get the property on the market? He's like, yesterday. I'm like, great. I'll send the documents over. We'll get it signed up and let's go, hit the market and get it sold. He's like, done.
Perfect.
That's building relationships. Is finding common ground.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I want to get people out of here in a reasonable time frame, but
Sure.
we're going to go through. They give you a 7-day mastery path. Do your needs assessment, focus, market analysis, communication skills are going to help you build all of these. These are your training. Okay. Focus on active listening, clear communication, handling objections. Okay. Role play scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Negotiating strategies, play chess, relationship building, putting it all together, application and refinement. And then at the end, it talks a little bit about clarity score. This is huge, guys. This is 7 days, 10 days worth of training for you that you can do without having to spend a dime.
Yep.
Okay. You can build your own training. And hey, email Michael at regeeks.com and I will send you this prompt. I'll send you a bunch of them.
He actually, well, guys, he has a ton of prompts, and I've used his prompts, and they are phenomenal.
Yep. We're going to build this stuff. There's no secrets here. This is, we want to help you get there. Now, if you are lazy, Greg and I are starting livingthebusiness.com.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to offer this training online for you. We're about a week away from going live, but look forward to us talking more about that in our next session.
Well, the really good thing about this, Michael, is to the fact that you and I are. I'm doing the real estate side. You're doing the tech side. Obviously, you're a realtor as well.
Yep.
But I mean, it's when I created AIM, I wanted to do it. Plus, my old podcast, Real Estate Uncensored. I wanted to give back at a zero cost basis because there's so many great individuals out there that just need just a little bit of help. I mean, you're saying going back to the boomers and stuff like that, and how they're just a little bit lost in the woods in regards to technology, like your parents with smartphones.
Yep.
When you guys take advantage of this and you get these prompts and you put them into chat or Gemini or whatever else, I will tell you one thing, it will blow your freaking marble socks off in regards to what you can achieve in about 45 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Copy, paste, boom, done. And you're out the door. You can go back out and do whatever you want to do. But highly recommend you sign up. Michael, where do they sign up for this stuff? Where can they learn more about this?
Right now, they're going to have to wait. Living the Business will be online in a week.
Okay, so 1 week. That's not an eternity. But I mean, once they get there, is there anything they can expect to see in regards to content, or is there an opportunity where they can ask for additional content on a certain subject matter that we can be providing to them? I mean, walk me through that really quickly.
Right now, just send it out to Michael or Greg at regeeks.com.
Boom. Guys, send it there. And here's the cool thing. We are not asking for a stinking dime. Not even 1 cent. It costs 3 cents to make one penny, right? We're not doing that. We're giving to you guys, and we want to see you thrive. I mean, I want to see you guys blow it out the door and become the best possible agent out there, and do it at a more comfortable rate. Because when Michael and I got in the business, you can attest to this, Michael. It was labor intensive, to put it mildly. It doesn't have to be that way anymore, guys.
Now it's easy. We're going to make it even easier.
Exactly. And that's where Michael comes in. He's the genius behind this. Like the brains and the handsomeness of that man. Yeah. It is unbelievable to see what he can produce.
Yep. All right, Greg. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, enjoying the recording. We will be here next Tuesday. We try to start at 11, finish up by noon. And we'll look forward. Oh, that's Pacific Standard Time. So we'll look forward to seeing you then. And Greg, you can take our close out.
All right. Take our clothes off or close out.
CLOSE.
All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I got to tell you, from Michael and myself, we love you. We appreciate you. We incredibly want to hear from you. So next time you guys got a thought, theory, or any kind of conspiracy thought pattern. I like conspiracies. Let's go over them. Let's see what's going on in the marketplace. What's whispering in your ear? What are you guys seeing in your marketplace? Tell us content that you guys want us to create. We will do it for you. But until then, next time, boys and girls, peace out, ninjas. We're gone.